What is up? Welcome to Dead with My Friends podcast. I am your co-host, Steve.
And I'm your co-host, Nick.
And this is episode 37, where we will be talking about Lamberto Bava's Demons. Nick, it is a new year, my brother.
That it is, 2025. 2024 has come and gone. I must say, I think I've said it a million times, 2024 was a great year. Just looking forward to the new year now. So the holiday rush is over. You know, I love being able to spend time with the family and having the time off and all that good stuff. But it's stressful when you're an adult, man, you know?
Dude, the rush of the holidays, and they came and went, and like,
fast.
Dude, so fast.
Yeah, dude, it's like, it's crazy because like you lead up to it, you decorate, you're going fucking crazy with the Christmas shopping, and I know people legitimately like the next day, even on my street, all their decorations are gone. It's like that's crazy. Never happened, and I'm just like, that's so sad. Like, leave them up.
We leave it up until the new year, and then like after New Year, that's it.
I heard about a really cool tradition. I can't remember who it was. It was an actor who was telling me about it, but he says this is what he does. Apparently, Elvis Presley used to leave his Christmas decorations up until his birthday in February. So this actor now uses that as like his date to start taking down his decorations. So now that I mention it, let me just look real quick at Elvis's birthday, and then we will know for sure. And then I think that we're gonna start using that here. Oh, January 8th is his birthday. So a couple days ago,
the day before mine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now we take it down like right after New Year's Day. Like,
oh, really? That's still too soon, man. I still have my tree up. I still have all my shit up.
I think it's good because, you know, you're starting the new year, you're starting over, etc. But more importantly, in the new year, we've started off strong. We just dropped a new shirt. We've got a new intro. We want to thank everyone that participated in the giveaway for these new cemetery ghoul shirts.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a name for them. So we had some audience participation. We've gotten some cool names. So I think maybe before, because we're gonna release a pre-order for those before this episode drops. So more than likely, by the time this episode drops, we will have a name for him. I wanted to run. You've been busy, so I've wanted to run names by. He needs a fucking name though, dude. He's cool,
no, he's a cool character.
Yeah. He's like essentially like our mascot. You know, I was thinking about like Ed or some shit, but then it's like you kind of like start going into the world of like Iron Maiden, because I know like their mascot's name
Eddie.
is Eddie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gotten some good ones. So
yeah, we have. So thank you for all of those who suggested names. We appreciate it, because I think what we'll do is like we'll go through those suggestions mixed with some of ours and just decide on one together.
Yeah. Or I was thinking about just like having the audience like fully
like vote on it, which I think
that's
cool. I'm with that. Yeah.
I love the collaborating, man, and you know, like you were saying, like everybody who participated in the giveaway, like that was awesome.
Yeah,
we love doing those. I love giving shit away. I really do. I love losing money. I love giving shit away. I'm not even being sarcastic. Like, I get hyped up when I know that I'm gonna be like, I'm a gift giver, man. You know, that's my thing, dude. I love giving gifts, and it's never about the money for me. It's never about any of that. It's just about, you know, exposure and, you know, more people finding out about us, because like even through the giveaway, like that's a positive to it, is, you know, people are tagging their friends in the comments, and more eyes on us. And, you know, we've gotten messages as far as like people who are now discovering the show again, which is awesome, because we have how many years are we going to be going on this now? 3? Is it 3?
3 years. Yeah.
We did in 2022. Yeah, 3 years, man. So anyways, so on a different note, going into the new year, we had actually seen Nosferatu. I think that that's worth mentioning. I had
Yeah.
went to my second viewing last night, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
So
that theater looked pretty cool, pretty old school.
you've
The one
never
that you went to.
you've never been there?
No.
Really? Well, I'm gonna have to take you and Kristen there. See, the thing about it is, I'll show you some interiors of it. Very, very, very fitting for the movie that we are talking today, because
Ah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
theater is 100 years old.
Oh,
It's got an
okay.
organ, dude. It's a fucking cool theater.
Yeah.
You know, it still has the marquee, and the theater that I'm talking about is the Lafayette Theater in Suffern, New York. And I highly recommend anybody in the Hudson Valley, or even not in the Hudson Valley, if you're in the tri-state, seek that place out. So much character. The people that work there are great. No bullshit there either, which I like as well, dude. They played 3 trailers, and then they went right into the movie. But before that,
Yeah.
they had the Grindhouse feature presentation that we've used here before.
Oh, sick.
And then they have the "Let's all go to the movies."
Yeah.
So I love that they're still going the old school route, you know, with their theater, that they haven't modernized it and all that bullshit. Because, dude, when we went to see Nosferatu at AMC, I
Dude,
swear.
how many fucking previews did we have to sit through?
And then how many AMC intros? It's
Yeah.
like you have the Nicole Kidman intro, which is like a staple now, and then it's like you have another intro, and then you have another intro, and then you have another thing that's like telling you to turn off your phone.
Yeah.
And then a million fucking trailers.
And
for...
I'm just sitting there, dude, waiting to eat my popcorn, but I don't want to until the movie starts.
My popcorn was done by the time the movie started. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't get up to get a refill, but then again, I understand because you didn't want to miss any scenes. Because
yeah.
Very anticipated to see this movie.
Oh yeah, that's been my most anticipated movie for a very long time. I don't want to get too into it, you know, because we have something planned with that, of course.
Yeah, most definitely.
But you know, that movie came in hot at the end of the year, and you know, for when we recorded our previous episode to you know, when we had seen the movie, it didn't line up. That movie came out Christmas Day, but nah, man, it was awesome. I'm glad we got to get together because I hadn't seen you for a while. You know, it was actually like months that I
think the last
seen you
time
in person. Yeah, September.
Was Heavy HV Fest. Yeah.
Oh no, October. Yeah, you're right. Heavy HV. I saw you.
Yeah.
Even though you don't even live far from me, really. It's just
our schedules have just been so busy.
But yeah, man, it was great seeing you, especially after the holidays, and you know, you just recently celebrated a birthday as well.
Yeah.
So what are you, 31?
32.
Oh, you're 32. Yeah, I forgot you're a year younger than me.
Yeah.
Gonna be 33.
It was a cool low key birthday, you know, and she also got me Rats the Night of Terror, which also stars Greta, who's in Demons as Rosemary. She's in a lot of Italian horror movies. She also got me Hell of the Living Dead, the new 4K UHD releases from Severin, which those slips, especially Rats the Night of Terror, look so sick. I got myself the Hell House LLC box set. And then she has like 2 records coming in the mail for me. One is from this old school metalcore band called Undying. And the other is the Fatal Realm demo, which is like the best demo of 2024.
Okay. So, I'm excited to check those out when I come over.
She also got me, and this was like a late Christmas present, but the Godzilla score from Waxwork, the 75 year, I think, or no, 70 year anniversary. Like, so I can't wait to like listen.
King of the Kaiju,
fucking on vinyl. Yeah, so I'm really stoked for those. I cannot wait for those to come in.
I'm just gonna let you know as well. You don't know this, but I have something coming for you too.
You son of a bitch. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Life's been crazy for you, man. I just want, you know, I love you. So
I love you too, brother. No, life is.
I got something coming in the mail for you. It's coming directly to you.
Oh, no shit.
And it's from.
Thank you, brother.
And it's from Orbit.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna like it. You're really gonna like it. And I'm just letting you know also, just because I get you a gift, there's no obligation to get me anything. I do it because I like it. See? Like what I said before. I just like fucking giving gifts.
This fucking guy, man. This fucking guy.
So, but yeah, man, I'm glad it was a cool, you know, low-key birthday.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man, right into the new year too, dude. So, for you. Mikey as well. Mikey's like 2 days before you.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, January 7th. Yeah.
Yep. But on a different note, we kind of wanted to go into the new year strong. We were kind of bouncing around some ideas as we had another movie planned, but just as everything else goes, we switched it up rather not like super late, but I kind of just felt like this movie was a little bit more fitting and a little bit more fun to start the new year. And we're talking Lamberto Bava's Demons, produced by Dario Argento. What year was this flick?
1985.
85?
Yeah.
Yeah, 85. So yeah, man, the first time I had actually seen this movie was Joe Bob Briggs' last drive-in, honestly. So I saw this like much later on in life than I realistically should have. And I always remember he called it Demones, right?
Demoni.
Yeah, Demoni. Yeah, Demoni, because that's what
Demoni.
it's called. That's how
Yeah.
they say it in Italy. It's an
Yeah.
Italian film, goes without saying. Lamberto Bava is Mario Bava's son, and it's really cool to see that his son had, took up the whole directing thing. I mean, his father was a master, dude. Like,
Yeah. And he was already like collaborating with Dario Argento in the past and like was taken under him and Michele Soavi. They come from like, the school of Argento and Fulci.
you can't beat that
No.
fucking those teachers as far as like the Giallo films or the splatter gore films. Um, I mean, Lamberto Bava in his career, he didn't really go too much in the Giallo route as much as, I mean, he did do a Blade in the Dark.
Yeah. Which I had watched that last Sunday. And I know you gave it a watch too, right?
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
a Blade in the Dark, man.
Yeah, no.
That,
It
dude,
was originally intended as a TV series.
yeah, and it got canned. But
Yeah,
you want to
it got
know
canned.
though is like I like hearing that because that falls into the conversation of demons as to like the birth of demons, because this movie kind of came as a response to the horror movies in Italy dying out due to television.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
television was taking over in the 80s. A lot of censorship was taking over in Italy in the 80s. And I mean, like even Dario Argento had a brief stint in television and had some mini series going. You could actually find those. I forgot what they're called, but you can get those to watch those and buy them from Severin Films. They did a release last year for them. But yeah, Blade in the Dark was intended, and it ended up getting canned. So Lamberto had to fucking scramble to piece together a feature like over an hour and a half. So, and he did a great job with it. But there's like in that Vinegar Syndrome box set, it's a fucking great box set, and there's like a bunch of different versions. There's like 4 versions in it. There's like an Italian TV version, an American TV version, a theatrical version, and then one more, and then a bunch of special features. So yeah, that's worth picking up. Long out
Most
of print
definitely.
with the fucking with the
box, but I'm
case.
sure you could still get like the normal standard edition.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But back to like what I was saying about how like TV was taking over. So yeah, like this movie was essentially in response to that, and the success of this film actually rejuvenated the horror films coming back into Italy around that time too, because this was a very successful film.
Yeah, and at the time, like we'd said, Italian horror was kind of at a standstill or dying because there was that early boom in the 80s of like the Italian splatter flicks. Like you had Anthropophagus by Joe D'Amato, you had Fulci's Zombie and his Gates of Hell trilogy, if you will. And just like shit was really popping off, but then TV got bigger, censorships, so things were scaled back, and this was a way to get Italian horror back on track, and it was a financial success.
Yeah,
globally.
right.
Yeah, critics kind of slandered it, but
Of course, fuck the critics though.
Yeah, no, fuck the critics. But this helps get Italian horror back on the market, and I had first seen this, I think in 2017, during how I make my like list of horror movies to watch during October, and I always got this mixed up with Night of the Demons.
Oh, okay.
When I was younger,
I could see that.
So I
Yeah.
was like, no, I've seen Night of the Demons. Like, I need to see demons, you know,
Demone.
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 And what a watch. That first watch, I was just like, holy shit, this is
Nah,
insane.
man, it's fun, and it it was made to appeal to a young audience, and
Yeah.
we're a young audience who are watching it. So it's like the rock soundtracks from the 80s, like you had Billy Idol, I'm pretty sure, except I think Scorpions are also in it. There's like a whole list of all
Motley
these.
Crue.
Motley Crue,
Yeah,
yeah.
this movie was for the youth.
Exactly, yeah. And that's like, those were the people who were going to see these splatter gore films. So they were really trying to re-attract that audience again, and they did like such a good job, man, you know?
Yeah. And
So
plus at the time, like, the home video market was booming. The people that, or the age bracket that were going to see this movie, like, they were renting horror movies, which were like the top, like, rated, like, rentals was horror movies. So it was just like, no, we need to get on this again and get everything back on track. And I'm so happy that this was a financial success, because it also was the first movie to actually spawn true Italian sequels, because we know that Italian films, like, they make up sequels to, like, cash in on the name.
Yeah.
Like, Zombie is Dawn of the Dead in Italy, then Zombie 2, Flesh Eaters is, Fulci Zombie, yeah, etc. Like, there's always these, like, unofficial sequels, but, like, this
I
was the
love it
first.
though. I love it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it too. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I love it.
But this was the first movie to, like, truly spawn an actual sequel as far as the horror genre goes. in
yeah,
Italy.
something that like truly kind of like, because Demons 2 really followed the same exact formula as the first Demons.
Yeah, and same actors, just playing different roles.
Yeah,
Love
a
it.
lot of the same actors, not the same setting, but it was just one setting, and for the mostly the whole duration, it's like they're trapped in a movie theater, the Metropole, in Demons, which we're gonna talk, and then in Demons 2, they're trapped in an apartment complex, and then there's a third film called The Church, which the actor in Demons, Michele Soavi, he directed The Church, Demons 3, which takes place entirely inside a church. And, the way that the demons spawn in all three of these movies kind of like caters to all parts of like entertainment and or literature in a sense, because in Demons, it's through a movie, and then in Demons 2 it's through a television, and then in Demons 3 it is through a book, like a Book of the Dead essentially.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just kind of like maybe Lamberto's cautionary tales of the dangers of entertainment, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's done in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, in a
Right.
sense, but yeah, definitely.
Because like in a way it like doesn't really like make sense. In Demons 2 it doesn't really make sense as far as like the resurrection in a way. No, it kind of does. I'm not gonna get too into it. It's fun either way. But yeah, that's all that I really have to say about it. What about you? Sorry.
No, nothing really. I think I'm ready to get into this movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you have your vinegar syndrome, or I'm sorry,
Arrow video
Yeah,
release,
yeah.
yes. Which, we've got, both of us, we have the Arrow video box sets here.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard to see on yours, but
Yeah,
if you look
yeah.
here,
I have the
and they
exact same
open
one.
up. I like that
show
they
it off.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm opening the wrong side. There we go.
Oh, I like how Sally, her face lines up with your insert.
Yeah. So, this
Open
was
it,
a great.
open it up. Open it up. Yeah, let's see. Let's see
So
what
you've
else
got,
is in there.
the way it opens up, almost like an elevator, I like that, like, split down, and you've got, like, Sally's face from Demons 2, and you've got Rosemary on the other side, where you've got your 2 movies here, like so. And then it comes with a beautiful booklet,
Yeah, great write-ups in it.
great write-ups on both Demons and Demons 2, which I know you were reading, I was reading. Awesome information in these. I love these kind of like booklets that the Arrow box sets come with.
Yeah, it's always worth it to get the limited editions when you can.
Always. And then you've got like a double-sided poster, which I'm not going to completely unravel, but it's got like Demons and Demons 2 double side.
I kind of wish they would have went with the original movie posters for those instead of like the dedicated artwork for this. Funny enough, man, you have the 1080.
Yeah, I have the 1080.
I have a 50/50. Because there was a replacement disc Arrow sent out for Demons.
Yeah.
And they sent me a 4K UHD instead of the HD because my set is the same. But with watching both of them, like the 1080 and the 4K, like it looks great. Like Arrow Video, as usual, did a great job with this release. This one's from a long time ago, though. A while ago, we had gotten these.
Yeah, I think it's like 2020 that this came out, or 2021, one of the two. But what's cool about this, though, is as we're getting into the actual discussion of the movie, is it also comes with a Metropole ticket. You got your ticket?
I do, man.
All right, yeah.
You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We got our tickets from Michele Soave.
You want to skip class?
Yeah, let's skip class. Let's skip night classes and go watch a horror movie at the Metropole.
Well, I hope it's not a horror movie. You know I hate them.
Oh, I know. It's okay. You can hold my hand if you're scared and squeamish.
Oh, perfect. You're so sweet. All right, man. Let me read the write-up on this, and then we'll get into to the discussion. All right?
Yeah.
So, Demons, 1985. A group of random people are invited to a screening of a mysterious movie only to find themselves trapped in the theater with ravenous demons.
The preview you are about to watch is for a movie that is unlike any you have ever seen before. It is for a movie that goes beyond temporary fear to everlasting terror. It is a movie called Demons. Yes, the demons are coming, and they're coming for you. Warning, if you have the courage to see demons, sit near an exit. Otherwise, you might never get out. In your theater, who will survive the touch of the demons, and who will not? Demons. With music by Billy Idol, Motley Crue, The Adventures, Rick Springfield, and Saxon. This is no dream. This is happening right now. And it could be happening to you. Demons. They will make cemeteries their cathedrals, and the cities will be your tombs. Will you survive it? Demons.
This movie was filmed in, the exteriors were all filmed in Germany, and the interiors of this film were shot in a Roman movie theater. Very beautiful on the inside. So the Metropole is in Germany. So when this movie opens up, we're on a train with our main character Cheryl, and it's just kind of like going through the landscape and showing, you know, like the German architecture, and then it's like also showing, you know, like the young people who are the punks now in Germany, and just like the diversity in the people of the time as well.
Yeah, because like Lamberto Bava, he wanted to play into that youth culture, and at that time, Germany's youth culture was booming, whether it was a creative place to be, especially in West Germany, and this was like the wall was still up at the time too. but like West Germany, it was popping between like the pop culture and just the youth movement, and they wanted to capitalize on that, so they decided to film this all in Germany.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that it worked, and I think that he definitely executed, his vision for it. Because even when we end up getting to, into the metropole, there's the cast of characters is very diverse. It's not just young individuals. It's a mix of individuals. But, while Cheryl is on the train, we kind of get glimpses of Mikel Suave with the mask. And just throughout the whole entire movie, he's kind of like a very mysterious, like an enigma or whatever the fuck you want it to be, So when she ultimately, gets to her stop and she gets off the train, the whole train station is very quiet, and then we kind of hear footsteps, and then we see Mikel Suave. From what it initially looks like is he's kind of like chasing her, and she kind of gets spooked by him. And just the way that he looks, he's got the half mask on and everything, and he doesn't really...
It's like the demon's mask, which is right here on this booklet. It's like a half mask. Yeah. It's kind of funny, too, because he looks like an Italian ripoff Terminator.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And they did ultimately rip off Terminator.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't really look too pleasant. And, she gets spooked, and she starts running, throughout the train station. And then she ultimately, bumps into him. And then what does he do? He hands her the Metropole card. And then the tension is, relieved. He walks away, and then he's just like giving out more Metropole cards. And then she goes up to him and then asks him if she has an extra one because she's meeting up with her friend. And I guess as like he gives it to her, and then a little bit of reassurance, she like asks him, "Oh, are you, dressed up, for promotion for the event?" And he doesn't say anything. He just
walks away.
Starts handing
it's like
them
he's
out
trying to
some
hide
more.
his face, which like under the mask, you could see bits of his face, and it looks like he was like a burn victim or something. Like it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And as the conversation goes, I want to get more of like your theories as to like him. Because I don't even think Lamberto had an idea for his character per se, as far as like putting him in. I'm not
shoehorned him in.
Sort of, but like it worked. Like
no,
he
it
works.
definitely works. Yeah, I think he's there to get everyone to, the theater, and yeah, we'll get more into it as we go along with the plot.
He was the assistant director on this.
Yeah,
and
he was an assistant director on a lot of like Dario Argento's works and Fulci's works. So
and then he went on to do Demons 3, directed that, which was definitely not the strongest one, but I appreciate him. He did some work.
I love Michele Soavi. Yes, The Church. It's a slow movie. The imagery is cool, but a lot of his filmography is great.
Well, he did The Sect as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I believe he did The Sect and Stage Fright. I would love
with the owl head.
Owl head, yes.
I've never seen that, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I would love to talk Stage Fright at some point in the future.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, well, I mean, we like him. I'm gonna revisit The Church. I had that really nice release from Severin, but after I had watched it, I was like, I don't really fucking need this, and I traded it in for movies that I wanted. But I'll go back and
I still have my Scorpion release with the slip, so I still got it.
I like the artwork for that one though. I like the artwork the Scorpion releasing.
I had actually gotten that when we went to our first Monster Mania con together.
You want to know something, man? That was a big turning point in our lives. I feel going to that con together, dude.
Yeah,
definitely. You picked up a lot of titles. I gained a lot of information then there. That was a big turning point.
It was.
If you go back to like a lot of our episodes, man, like you picked up a lot of shit from there, man. You discovered a lot from there as well.
Mm-hmm. I discovered Brian Paulin, man.
Yeah, that was like a big introduction for you as well, because that was your first time going to a con ever, was it?
Yep. Yeah, it was my first time ever going to a horror convention. Yep.
So, well, I'm glad I brought you.
Yeah.
The first time I ever went real quick was to meet Nick Castle. I heard he was there. It was like the big days of the the michaelmyers.net forum, and everybody was like going nuts because it was Nick Castle's first con appearance. So I went with my grandpa.
Nice.
I met a lot of people there. But to go back to Demons, so yeah, after she gets the ticket, she ends up meeting up with her friend, and we find out that they're like on their way to class. They have these free tickets to go to the Metropole, and they decide that they're gonna just fucking skip class and they're gonna go see like what this movie is. And I mean, hell yeah, like free tickets for a movie. I've done that.
Yeah.
I got to see an early screening of Django. I skipped class to go see that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I went with dudes that I was fucking in class with. We're like, yeah, fuck this. Let's go see Tarantino Django before it comes out.
Yeah.
So
and Kathy's like, oh, if this is a horror movie, like I don't want to go. I don't like horror movies.
Little does she know,
what?
the whole fucking
it's a horror
night's
movie.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah, and we get this like great shot in the lobby. And we've got, again, all of these mixed cast of characters. We've got Tony the Pimp.
I love Tony the Pimp.
Yeah,
I like
great.
when the lights come on after or like before like the Metropole opens up, and it's just kind of like the heart of the theater, and like when you know what's gonna happen, it's like the theater's coming alive now, and I like that. It's because the Metropole, man, like the exterior, it's like a gothic looking like church or a cinema with the neon Metropole, and Lamberto definitely like took inspiration from the neon works and cinematography and sets of like Dario Argento, because he does do that a lot in his films as well. So
yeah,
but I'm sorry. So the cast of characters when we're inside the lobby.
Yeah, we got a cast of characters. We got Tony the Pimp, Rosemary played by Greta, she's an American actress who is in a lot of Italian horror, like I mentioned before, Rats, The Night of Terror, a bunch of Italian movies. She's also in Shocking Dark.
I think she was the only true American in this film.
Yeah, Tony, he's Italian.
Yeah, he's I love Tony. I like the guy that does the dub for him.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he does the same dub for him, because this dude Tony, that actor, he's also in Demons too.
And it's the same,
And I think it's the same voice actor. It's great. It fits him very well. So he's the pimp. He's got another girl with him.
And yeah, we've got this, obviously like Kathy and Cheryl. And then we've got these two young guys, George and Ken. We've got this blind man and his daughter.
Is that his daughter or is that his wife or his girl?
He says it's his daughter, the blind man. I know it's weird though.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Because
it's supposed to be his daughter.
Because in the interior of the foyer in the theater, there's this really cool like mannequin on a fucking dirt bike, and there's also the mask, the demon's mask that's like hanging off of it, and he like approaches it, and he's blind, so he like feels it, and he tells her like don't touch it. And the reason why I bring this up is because he says her name, and then she says his first name, and not like father or dad. I think his name's like Werner or something like that. So I was just like, I don't know if that's his daughter or if that's like what the deal is.
It's very weird, but it is his daughter, because he mentions too, like later on, he refers to her as his daughter. But also in that lobby, so yeah, we've got the hanging demon mask. But if you notice in the background, there's a Creepshow poster.
Yeah.
There's
four flies
on gray velvet.
Yeah.
There's a Terminator poster.
Metropolis.
Yep. And then I think like an AC/DC poster. So like a little cool Easter eggs, if you will, in the background. But yeah, Rosemary with Tony and the other girl, she puts on the demon mask and joking around, and it scratches her cheek. And that'll come into play later, because they all, make their way into the theater. Everyone's sitting around. You've got this like old disgruntled guy and his wife, and his voice is so distinct. It is the same voice actor as Brian from Zombie, whose wife gets her throat ripped out. Now that voice actor
The dude who's dubbing it is
The
what
dude
you
who's
mean?
dubbing
Okay.
it, he is in so many Italian horror movies. Anytime I hear that voice, I'm like, oh, it's Brian's voice from Zombie.
Oh, I like how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
make those connections.
Yeah.
I would definitely expect them to use a lot of the same people. They use
Yeah,
a
they
lot of
do.
the same people, you know, in the movies they film, as well as like cast and crew as well.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone's sitting down, getting their seats ready. Also, we've got this one young couple who's like making out a lot, and that the woman that is Dario Argento's firstborn daughter.
Yeah, Fior. And Dario Argento's other daughter is in Demons 2, and she's also in The Church. They're always using the same people.
Always, always. So yeah, the movie gets going that they're all sitting down to watch. And you know, it's these people that are exploring this old, like, I don't know, mausoleum like area, crypt thing.
Yeah, it's like these ruins, you know, which have some lore around them that Nostradamus was buried there. So I guess they're going and trying to explore that and just being, you know, super curious. And as they're investigating things, they find writing out, and there's the tagline for what does it say? It's like the graveyards will be
their graveyards will be their cathedrals, and they will make tombs of your cities.
Yeah.
I believe.
I love that.
Which is,
yeah.
yo,
That's a
that
sick
fucking-
tagline.
That's a fucking sick tagline.
Yeah.
That shit is hard as fuck.
Yeah.
So fucking hard.
Yeah, for sure. So they're investigating it, and then ultimately, like, they find that there is like a little tomb, and inscribed in it is Nostradamus, and they open it up reluctantly. Like, you definitely shouldn't be opening up something like that, as well as like somebody who was like so profound as Nostradamus, who made all these like incredible predictions in like the 16th century that really did come true, a lot of them. So ultimately they find a book in there, and they find a mask, and the mask is the same exact mask as the one that was in the lobby. So now the movie within the movie, as well as the real world, start to kind of like mirror each other, because Mikel Suavi puts the mask on like Goretta did, and then he gets a cut on his cheek, and then we cut to her where she notices that her cheek is now, you know, been cut, and it has been bleeding ever since she had put the mask on, because she got nicked in the beginning when she was like fucking around with them.
Yeah.
Did we also fail to mention the two guys and how they're
we briefly mentioned like George and Cannon. They end up sitting next to
Yeah. Because you know
Cheryl
they're
and
young
Kathy.
pretty girls,
Yeah.
young handsome guys. They're, you know, they meet in the
lobby.
in the lobby, yeah, and they're having problems with getting a Coca-Cola, and you know they help them out, try to be all charming and shit, and you know Cheryl is kind of like about it, and you know even before the movie starts, she's like, "Ooh, you know, I hope they sit next to us," and then her friend is just like, you know, a little fucking.
Don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, she don't really want to be bothered, but yeah, so Goretta's face, Rosemary's face, is now bleeding, and she decides that she's got to go take care of it. So she, you know, removes herself and goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, so she's checking herself out in the bathroom, and she starts changing into a demon.
The cut starts to kind of like boil up and pulsate, and you know. You can tell that she is definitely a person who cares a lot about her image and the way that she looks. So for her to be the one to transform first, definitely like makes a lot of sense. So the cut ultimately explodes, and like this like really like creamy orangey looking pus ends up oozing out, and then it cuts back to the theater. And the movie, Mikel Suavi is now, he hasn't changed, but like he's changed because he's starting to like stab up and kill his friends in the movie that he's working with. So it's kind of a prediction of ultimately a foretelling of what is going to be happening momentarily when Rosemary ultimately fully does change. So
yeah. And like Tony notices that Rosemary's been gone for a long time, so he sends the other woman to go check on her. And it's just like such an awesome reveal because like the other woman, she goes in to the stall and then she sees Rosemary in the corner, but we don't see her face, and then turns around and then we get, this fucking demon Rosemary who scratches her up, which
with like green foam, like
yeah, and her eyes all red and shit.
yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of that, because like this movie gets very heavy. Like it is gory, it definitely does have gore, but it has a lot more of like the gross out, like colorful, foamy, oozy shit in a way. And I think that has to do with censorship. Like you have to, because I know that was a thing in Demons 2 where there's probably a lot more of that than there was of blood and gore, to cater to censorship.
Demons is way more gorier than Demons 2, whereas they focus more in Demons 2 on like the multicolored body fluid to avoid that like
which grosses me out way
rating.
More.
Because this got an 18 rating, which in like Europe and Italy, like that's like the same rating as a porno flick. So they wanted to appeal more to younger audience. So they were like, all right, we got to scale it back for Demons 2 and change up like the blood colors. But yeah, so Greta or Rosemary, she's full demoned out. She scratches the one girl, which we now like later on we find out that's how you turn into a demon, is if you get scratched by their claws. Whereas like most zombie movies, like it's like they were playing into the whole zombie thing, but they didn't want to do a zombie movie because that had been done in the early 80s with the Italian zombie craze.
Yeah, and they look a lot. They don't look like zombies.
No.
You could definitely tell that they're like some kind of demon.
Yeah. Oh, I love the look, especially like with Rosemary's look, and it's so funny with her Rick James hair. Like...
Yeah, just like fucking bobbing around,
Yeah.
So she's the one that's really starts to like pick people off at a point, you know what I mean? Because she slices up her friend real good, and then so we have the blind couple as well, right? So at a point in time, some dude slides in, sits next to her, and I mean, obviously, like a blind man at a movie theater is ironic.
Because he's asking his daughter, like, what's going on?
Yeah, she's going to be, telling him about, what the fuck is going on with the movie. And she starts, like, making out and fucking around with this dude that's, like, sitting next to her. So that's why I was like, it would be better if it was his wife, because it's like she's having an affair. That's, like, better for the story.
Yeah.
And if it's his daughter, I'm like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
So her So, yeah, I'm going to go with that. It's his wife, Steven.
Well, in the write-up, it does say his daughter, so I'm going to go with that. Also, he does mention that it's his daughter later.
Fuck. All right. Whatever.
It's all good. It's very weird how they play them two out, because I could foresee them being husband and wife, but he does bring up...
It's better for the story.
He does say, like, my daughter.
All right.
But so yeah,
let's not sit too long on it. Go.
Yeah, we've got the blind man, his daughter, and her little lover over there. She sneaks away with him, and he's just like, asking like what's going on. But while that's going on, we've got the one girl who was with Tony. She's behind the screen. And at one point, Cheryl's like, I swear, like she's screaming for help,
She's because she's starting to change. Because what's going on in the movie is it's starting to get more intense, and she's like watching the movie from behind the screen, and as the movie becomes more intense, her transforming starts to become intense, because similar to like how Rosemary's cut was with the pulsation and the boiling, that starts to happen with her scars, her cuts, because she's got some very deep neck cuts. So she starts screaming and everything like that, and then Kathy and her friend, they're like, these screams sound real, like something's going on, like somebody might be in danger. And they're like, no, it's just the movie. And he's like, oh no, it's just the Dolby system. So he's like, it's really good audio.
Yeah. And then the woman, she emerges through the screen, like tears through, and it disrupts the whole screening. And we see like Tony gets up because he realizes that's one of his female friends, and the Ken and George, they get up, and like the one older guy who's there with his wife, who's voiced by Brian from Zombie, and they're all checking on her. And then they realize like she's changing. I think either George or Ken like points out her fingernails. Same with Tony. He's like, yo, what the fuck? And then they start to put like 2 and 2 together, like, oh, she's changing like on the movie. And that's where this woman, she full on changes and grabs the older guy by the throat. And this is so good. Like, I love a good throat rip. And that is like a big thing in Italian horror, especially like the early like splatter Italian horror. Is she like digs her fucking nails and just rips this old man's throat.
Oh yeah, and then everybody in the theater's just going fucking crazy at this point, and everybody's looking for like any exit or anything that they could find, and little do they know they're trapped in the theater now.
Yeah, because they're trying to break through the doors, and it's like cement walls. And while that's going on too, we've got Rosemary all demoned out, and she's got like, the blind man's looking for his daughter while she's like making out with her lover behind some curtain. And then Rosemary comes, she grabs like something and chokes them two together. Yeah. And is like killing them on the top area balcony.
And then she like throws the one guy over, and it was like very like similar to like Suspiria.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
there's even like a point in time in the movie where like you get like a good silhouette, and it's like backlit with the red, and it's just like the way that he's hanging there. It's like very similar to like the beginning of Suspiria. So I love that, and there's just like a lot of homage in this film as well. Like that's another thing that I think goes without saying. Like the mask itself, I would think that goes back to what is it, Black Sunday?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Lamberto Bava's father, Mario Bava's. I think it is Black Sunday, because I know that there's also Black Sabbath. Yeah, it's Black Sunday. Black Sabbath is a trilogy or an anthology. And what else? There's other
There's a
shit.
couple more, like for example, the helicopter, which we'll get into. Like that's an homage.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
the Dead
zombie. There's a lot of which it's actually the same helicopter used. So
and then I mean, what ends up happening too? So with the propellers and everything. Mm-hmm. So just
a lot of homages, and
I love that though. I love that. Do that. Definitely do that.
Like,
kind of
don't
shit.
beat us over the head with it, but throw a little homage.
Yeah, I love watching a flick, and you're like, oh, I like that. Like, I like where he was thinking with that.
Yeah,
so, and especially like with The Mask, because I really like that movie by Mara Bava.
Yeah,
I really like that movie, man. That's like a masterpiece.
It's a great one. It is.
So I love I wish we'll talk about it later, but let's talk about The Mask later, because I want to go back to like what I think would make maybe The Church a better film, honestly.
Okay. So chaos is ensuing. The people are trapped. They're the blind man, he's getting his eyes ripped out, like, which again, Igor in Italian horror. I mean, most notably Fulci, but Igor is a thing.
So he gets his eyes fucking ripped out, which really doesn't matter too much. It really doesn't hinder him that much. But he doesn't change right away.
No,
like everybody else does. I mean, not everybody immediately changes, but I feel like it's a lot quicker than for him.
Yeah.
So, because he gets to also have like some interaction and everything like that, with some of the other people. So like as they're all scrambling to find a way out, they associate what is happening in the theater with what is going on in the movie. So they're like, let's stop the movie. We have to stop the projection. Where's the projection booth? And then there's a woman in the beginning, red hair and a red dress. We don't really know anything about her, but she's been in a lot of like I think that she was in a couple of Dario. She was in Deep Red. I know that, and I think she was in Flesh for Frankenstein. One of them. So,
Yeah, she's like the theater
yeah,
worker
but
who's
she
like with the
kind of
light.
like gives me like a Mikel Suavi vibe in this as well, where it's like, are they characters and or civilians, who are just kind of like, well, I know Mikel Suavi isn't, but is she unexpecting and just a worker? But it's like the way that she like portrays herself is like she knows more than she does. And ultimately, like, I feel like she doesn't, but I feel like she should have been like a worker for the demons, or somebody who's possessed to kind of like lead them into peril, because she tells them, oh, the projection booth is here, so they go up and they ultimately kick down the door. They find that there's nobody in the projection booth and that it's operating by itself. It's automatic. And I like this shot because Kathy, as she's like looking out to the movie being projected, we get a quick glimpse of Mikel Suavi and his mask and all that. So I'm sure that you had caught that.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah, so they start destroying, ruining the film projector and everything, and they end up going back to inside the cinema, and they're feeling a bit relieved now because they're like, well, we've stopped it. And then this is where we get the blind man who's
Interaction.
like, yeah,
like, no,
he's like, no, it's not the movie, it's the theater that's cursed.
Yeah, it's
there's
the theater
a curse
that's
in
cursed.
here.
Yeah. But also there's a really cool scene when they're up there on the second level. We get the old man whose throat was ripped out. His wife, she's like in a side room.
Yes, I
and
love
she gets her fucking scalp ripped right apart.
Rosemary rips her scalp off.
It's so fucking good.
Because everybody's running up, and then she decides that she's just gonna fucking beeline into like a storage closet, and she's just like looking around, and then whoosh. I love a good, and I mean, look, I'm wearing the Maniac hat, so I mean, of course, I like a good scalping.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love a good scalping. Italians are notorious for doing that too, whether it be make them die slowly. Zombie Holocaust has a good scalping. Yeah. It's good shit.
It's like
Great
all
gore.
the good things about Italian horror films are implemented within Demons.
Yeah.
So, if you think about it, it's like Lamberto was just kind of like, let's throw the kitchen sink at all this shit and let's like really make people remember what the fuck they miss from these kinds of films, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. So let's show them what they've been missing, all right? So yeah, thank you for bringing up the scalping. So when they think that they've taken care of and destroyed the film and everything's going to go back to normal, clearly not. This is when the old man, like I had said, he makes a mention about how, no, it's the theater that's cursed.
Yeah, there's the demon disease is spreading all over. There's still more panic. They're like trying to like block entranceways because you also have the old man demon who got his throat ripped out. He like scales the hanging dude and like pops up and like tries to attack Tony and everyone. And so they throw him over the balcony again and cut the fucking hanging dude so that way they can't get up. But also there's a character which is Dario Argento's daughter. She's down there.
Yeah,
still.
with her boyfriend. And she's like crawling underneath. The boyfriend's not with her. So she's scared and by herself, and she's like crawling underneath all the fucking seats and shit, and
it's great because she gets thrown up on
by the old man,
by the old man demon, and it's so fucking like disgusting.
Yeah,
she gets like covered.
Poor Fior.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
I mean, it's another thing with the Italian horror films, man. So
yeah, so they're like trying to barricade any exits of the demons coming up on the top level,
ripping seats out and shit too.
Yeah. While trying to break like an entranceway into a wall as their escape, I believe. Yeah.
That comes at a different point. So they're like on like the second tier doing all of this.
Yeah.
And the old man is like pleading with Tony because the old man's daughter is dead, and Tony's like, we got to throw her over the edge
Before she turns,
because
yeah.
she's gonna fucking turn. And then that's when we have the old man who comes up, crawls up, and then tries to do whatever. They fucking throw him over the edge, and then Tony starts like kicking things and the seats and shit, and then he gets attacked when he's kicking him by the daughter. She bites his leg. So he
bites his
becomes
leg
turned.
And then I think grabs him by the nuts too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So they should have definitely thrown her off. So he was definitely right, but
So now Tony's fucked. Great character. He's fucked.
I like his character better in this than I do in Demons 2.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like I think I like him in Demons 2 better as like the workout gym coach guy. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But regardless, like that actor's great. Tony's great. The voice actor, great. Perfectly fits Tony. So yeah, they try to start making an escape because they're like, oh, well, we're fucked on the top level too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
there's
start, like,
no
breaking
place that's
through.
safe in here. Yeah. So they start breaking through, using whatever the fuck they can to break through the wall. So when they finally do, we find like some empty back room to the Metropole, and I thought this scene was like pretty funny because we have our main guy. So anytime they like go past the door, he looks in, he's like, no exit, and then like immediately, no exit here. And then they walk down into just like this big room. Clearly no exit, just like brick. And they're like running up to the walls and banging on the walls, and they're starting to go crazy. And they're like, there's no exit. There's no place to go. It's like, no, man. Like, I didn't even think that was a it was a good place to be. Oh, we got to talk about
The punks.
The punks, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's the big controversy in this film.
you say big controversy?
Yeah, it was like a big controversy for like the rating system and the censorship and shit.
Oh,
right?
because of all the coke going on.
Yeah, because of
and
the
shit?
coke and the razor blade
Yeah.
and fucking all this. Like they made a big deal about this.
Yeah, so while all this is going on, we get a shot of these young adult punks driving around, snorting coke in a stolen car, snorting coke out of a coke can with a straw. And, they're just
Listening to Billy Idol.
White Wedding. And they end up, like, pulling up to a light, and these cops realize, like, they're up to no good, so they try to lose the cops. And they're, like, in an alleyway, and then the door just happens to open to the Metropole on purpose.
Where are we gonna go? Yeah, and then it opens up, and they walk in. And then as they're walking in, the old man with the old blind man walks out. And then like the way that this is shot is like it's a long alleyway with a blue neon light, and then to the left there's just a car sitting, and then you see him scurry and hide behind the car, and then the cops run down the alleyway. So I like this part too.
Yeah, because the cops go to see what's up with this like old man, and it turns out he's a demon. And he attacks the cops, and you're like, oh shit, one of them got out.
That plays a big part in the end.
Yeah. So you got these punks like trying to like figure out like where the fuck they are, and they realize like, okay, where are the other exits?
I feel like they also hear. They feel like they hear like the banging.
They hear the banging. Yeah, they definitely
what's
hear the
going
banging
on in there. Because I think the girl kind of looks like Billy Idol.
Yeah. Yo, I had in my notes, she looks like Woodstock from fucking Peanuts.
Oh man, yeah.
Yo, pull up, edit in Woodstock.
Put her together, yeah.
Yeah, put it together. Oh my god, dude. I'm like, yo, that's Woodstock from Peanuts. That's Snoopy's pal.
So now, they're kind of getting lost within the Metropole now, because once you're in, there's no fucking way out. So they start kind of like looking through all these rooms, and the girl that we're talking about, what would you say? It was Woodstock. Yeah, Woodstock or Billy Idol or whatever. I feel bad talking about this poor girl, but she's got like crazy hair, man.
Dude,
like,
it's
kind of looks a little bit like Bob from from House by the Cemetery.
Well, funny.
He's
Bob
also
will
in
come.
this.
Yes, he's also in this at the
Yeah,
end.
thankfully. He's also in A
Yeah.
Blade in the Dark as well. So I'm glad that
Yep,
they
yeah.
utilized him in a couple of Italian films because I don't know, man. A blue-eyed blonde kid, German or not German, Italian, just kind of looks a bit out of place. So that's why he kind of looks really funny.
Yeah.
So the girl, she stops to like put on some lipstick in the room where the old man's wife was scalped. So she drops her lipstick, and then as she's coming up, we get a great fucking jump scare of the
Yeah.
old woman behind her, and she starts ripping at her as well.
Yeah, she rips her apart, and also like at one point, our main characters, they're trying to escape still, find an escape route, like the if you will, like almost like the vent that the younger couple with Dario Argento's daughter were using.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about them as well when
Yeah.
they're in there. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah,
That
they're
one's cool.
trying to escape through the air vents. We get a cool shot though of like the demons coming up.
Yeah, which is
And
like the
they're-
iconic scene. It's like
It
on the
is-
movie poster.
Yeah, and their eyes are all glowing. And Lamberto Bava had said he got that inspired by the movie In Company of Wolves, the way the wolves' eyes glow. So he wanted to do something like that, which was a great choice because again, it made the poster. It's anyone that knows demons knows that scene.
So I mean, this is just kind of like when all of the demons are now kind of like herding together
Yeah.
to take on whoever's left in the theater, and it's not many people.
No, because the punks they get picked off by the horde like real quick. Really, it's a focus between the younger couple with Dario Argento's daughter in the air vents, and then like Ken, George, Kathy, Cheryl, because everyone else has been fucking turned or dead.
So when Fior, I think her name's Hannah, when they kind of like go and do their own thing, they get lost, and like you're saying, they go inside the air vent, and when they're crawling inside the air vent, we keep on like getting these shots of these hands, and they're like the demon claws, and the boyfriend is like, I hear something scratching behind us, like we have to go because he's in front of her and she's behind him, so they end up switching spots, and then we get the same shot, and then he's like, now I hear the scratching in front of us. He's like, how can this be? And then we get the shot that Fior, Hannah, is now changed, and she goes to bite him. So also, it plays into what you said earlier about how the way to become a demon is to be scratched by a demon. That's the way to transfer it. But she doesn't get scratched. He only like spits up all this shit on her.
If it gets into your bloodstream, I guess, or something.
There you go. That's yeah.
You're fucked. You become a demon.
But then like I don't think we ever see him again, right?
No,
he's like in the vent. He's stuck
Yeah.
in the vent somewhere.
Well, because at one point too, again, Cheryl, Kathy, Ken, and George get the idea to try to go through the vent, and that's when Kathy gets like scratched,
Okay.
and then she starts turning,
Yes.
and we get this like right before she starts turning, which
Oh yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. Yup. Sorry.
yeah, right before she starts turning, Ken takes like the vent door and starts bashing her
Beating
in
the
the head,
shit out of her with it. Yeah.
thinking like she's dead.
No.
But then we get this great scene where like something's coming out of her back,
Yeah. I love it.
and it is so fucking dope. This fucking demon. This was Kristen's favorite scene.
Great effects by Sergio Stilvetti.
We get the iconic demon image. That demon specifically emerges from her back, and it is fucking amazing because like the use of like the mechanics in this, like they also do it with I think one of Tony's girls' heads where like the long tongue comes out and shit too.
Yeah, and the
And the
teeth
teeth
fall
pushing
out,
through?
and then
Oh
the
my
nails
gosh.
coming through. So, what do you think that is, though? Like, are those the demons that are possessing them, and that like they can have the ability to, maintain that form, or their true demon form, like after a host dies or something like that. You know, because that's the only time it happens in that.
Yeah,
in this.
that's the only time it happens, and I think they just did that for like, yo, this would make a cool scene. Let's have the demon emerge from her back. Because like if you think about it, like these demons can die easily. They don't like zombies. They don't need to be like shot in the head or anything. Like you could kill them pretty normally.
That's why, like, I was thinking, like, after watching it, I'm just like, how come that only happens once with her? Meanwhile, a bunch of the other people who were demonized died as well. So it could have been cool if, like, you know, that was like that was the demon that was possessing them. So after it emerges out of her back, though, it fucking scratches. What's his name? George? Is that the Ken?
Scratches Ken.
Scratches Ken, and then it just like scurries off.
Yeah.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah. And Ken realizes, like, oh, he's fucked. He tells George, like, you know I'm going to turn. Don't let me turn. Like, you know what you got to do. And this is where George becomes, like, this badass warrior, whereas before he was, like, this preppy, handsome guy, and he kills Ken, who's turning, with a katana from the lobby.
Ken begged him to, you know, like a mercy killing, kind of.
So he's like, you know, kill me before I turn. And fucking George just slices and dices, man. And then...
Well, this is his turning point, you know? Like...
Yeah. It's great because...
This is my favorite scene we're going into.
Oh, my gosh. It is mine, too. It's so
probably
amazing.
Everybody's. So.
Yeah. So George hops on the dirt bike with the katana and fucking has Cheryl on the back of him as he's riding over the seats with the katana, just slicing and dicing fucking demons. And we got Except Fast as a Shark playing. It is fucking amazing. This scene alone sells the whole fucking movie. If you've never seen demons and you need a reason to, this scene alone should tell you, I need to go see this movie. I need to put this movie on. I need to find out where to watch it and watch it because it's amazing.
Yeah, best scene in the film, other than the demon coming through the girl's back. I mean, it's filled with good gore. It's filled with good scenes. So that's just like really what it's all.
So
what
badass.
This is all about. Yeah, and then with the fucking heavy metal, you know, it just adds like so much to it. You're like, yeah, this is badass right now.
Yeah, because Argento was onto something, because like right before this came out, Phenomena came out, and there was a bit of, you know, there was Iron Maiden in Phenomena, and he
does it in opera. He does it in like a lot of his films.
Motorhead too, I think, is also in Phenomena. So like, he's like, yo, let's put, you know, a little American influence in, you know, in the soundtrack, and it works so well.
I love when movies do it. I'm a big fan of it, you know. So yeah, there's a great shot too where he slices that one demon's head
and the blood
right in half.
Just, it's everywhere. And he kills all the punk demons and just, you know, he's, like I said, he's just fucking mowing through them.
A good old fucking katana, man.
Anytime a katana is involved, like, for example, The Crow, when Brandon Lee's character, when Eric gets the fucking katana and you're like, oh, it's on. It's on.
Yeah. Katanas are badass, dude.
They are.
Great scene, man.
Yeah. And then we get this random scene after, like, he kind of clears the way. You know, there's more demons. They're just more scattered around because he did some damage. A fucking helicopter just falls through the ceiling of the Metropole.
Yeah. It's like quiet for a little bit, and then you start kind of like seeing cracking on the roof. You're like, what the fuck is going on? And then boom.
So random, but I love it.
Yeah, it's random, but like when you think about it, it's symbolic in the sense of like, now you know that there's something chaotic going on outside those walls. You know, because when they go over to the fucking helicopter, you see that these the pilots have been like torn apart. Like I think like the head split open, everything.
Oh, their bodies look so good. That is the one thing another thing I do love about like Italian horror is anytime there's a corpse,
It looks
it
really
looks
good.
so good. And that's what I love about the new VHS movies. Is anytime there's a dead body, they look amazing. So good. So yeah, George and Cheryl, you know, they're checking out the chopper, and it's the same helicopter from Dawn of the Dead. We had mentioned that homage, and at one point he kicks on the propeller.
Yeah. And if the helicopter alone wasn't an homage.
They start slicing through the demons, which is great. And he finds like this grappling hook, and he shoots it up into the roof, and they're about to make their way, but like a demon like grabs like Cheryl and almost bites her, but they're able to escape, and they make their way up to the rooftop. And when they do, that's where they see, like in other apartment buildings, that the contagion of these demons is spread, because we're seeing like people being attacked in their apartments by demons. And then George gets attacked because none other than Michele Soavi comes up behind him in his half demon mask and throws him over back into the hole, and George is just hanging on like this.
Yeah, the rebarb.
The rebarb. There you go. I was wondering what those were called.
Yeah, rebarb. Yep.
Yeah. So he's hanging on for dear life. And Cheryl, she takes like the grappling hook gun and like stabs Michele in the back and helps George up. And then this is great because like George is Michele, he's like full on like demon out at this point. Like, you know, he was a part of it now, especially like after attacking George. But it's great because after Cheryl stabs Michele in the back, they use a pole as like a lever and use like the fulcrum to push Michele into the rebarb. And it's just so gratuitously violent.
Because it's very slow.
Yeah.
You know?
So good.
And the rebarb's pushing through his face and pushing through the mask and all the blood coming out. And yeah, it's great. So,
It's fucking
you know,
phenomenal.
So they ultimately find a emergency escape on the roof, and they descend down into Berlin, Germany, and they're scampering around, and they start to see that like the whole city is now overrun by demons. It's kind of like an apocalyptic look, you know?
Yeah. And then we get another shot again of like demons, like glowing eyes coming out of the alleyway, and they're picked up by this group of survivors in a Jeep, and one of them being Bob from House by the Cemetery.
He's like eating an apple or something, right?
Yeah. And they're all like equipped with weapons. You got this old man driving, this young woman with a gun, and then you got Bob with a gun. And they get on the back, and they're just like, well, we have to keep tracking to where this is not spread. So they're taking off, and we get in the credits roll.
Yeah. And you
But it's
think
not
that
over.
they're safe, you know?
Yeah, you think they're safe, and then boom, Cheryl turns into a fucking demon.
Turns around and she's just like, ah.
Yeah, and
At
you know,
the
George is
camera.
like, holy shit, and here comes fucking Bob, and just fucking takes her out with the gun. And that's demons.
And that's demons. I think it's worth mentioning also that Claudio
Simonetti
from
from Goblin.
Goblins.
Yep.
Goblin.
Did
Did the music, so not
So
Goblin
good.
officially, but you know he is one of the members of Goblin. So Claudio Simonetti. Yeah, man, this movie's great.
Oh, it's so good.
Like
man.
talking about it, revisiting it. I watched it a bunch this past week leading up to recording the episode.
Same.
You know, it's just fun, over the top gore. You know, you don't really got to worry about too much character development or any of that kind of bullshit. You know, it's just kind of like goes pretty much balls to the wall the whole time. So
Yeah.
it's very fun.
I'm very thankful for this movie because, like, now that we got the backstory of this helped get Italian horror back on track and in the cinemas, like, we have so much to thank for this movie. It's an iconic movie, especially for like the horror fans who like go beyond the mainstream. Like, this is an iconic one.
Yeah, it's definitely not mainstream. I wouldn't say that this movie is mainstream by any means.
I think though it's like it's building up more with like the great like releases that have been put out by all of these labels.
Synapse now has a release of both Demons 1 and Demons 2, Arrow Video, and I found out about it because of Joe Bob Briggs, so that would only mean that you could find these more than likely on Shudder. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're on Shudder.
he always has great commentary about it. Yeah, this one's the stronger one, I personally feel, out of the three. I like Demons 2, but I do not like Demons 2 nearly as much as this one. And, like, I don't really love the church too much. I think it's kind of boring. Had some good moments, definitely a lot to be desired. I think that the way that opens in the whole medieval times and everything like that, instead of focusing so much on the book, they could have focused on the book as well as the mask and shown like how the mask was forged and like where that comes from, because
That would have been great.
right. And then utilize the mask more in the third one because they don't use it in the second one at all. So I wanted to know about that fucking mask, man. I like that shit. It looks cool. So and I mean they find the book in the first film. Find the book and they find the mask in the crypt, and then like that gets buried, and ultimately like the church is built upon that in the third one. So like that's how I feel like it could have been a little bit better. So that's all I want to really say about all that shit. So
Yeah, no, I agree that they should have went more of that route. Again, reflecting on this being the first official like Italian horror to have a true sequel, where I like the way the demons look in Demons 2 maybe a little bit more, but I like Demons 1 more because of like the setting. The gore is heavier.
I could agree with that.
Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. The demons in Demons 2 look great, and Demons 2 is a fun one. I do love it, but Demons is definitely the better one. Again, the dirt bike katana wielding scene alone
is worth watching it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean it's worth piquing your interest as well, because if like you're just kind of like catching this on like the tail end of like that happening, because it happens like pretty much towards the pretty much towards the end of the movie. You see that and you're just like, I gotta fucking see the rest of this movie then, for sure, and you won't be disappointed at all.
Yeah.
So I like what this movie represents, man. As far as bringing back horror, not only in Italy, but just maybe all over the world, because how well was... I guess horror was also doing very well in America in the 80s, very strong, but it was also very censored as well.
Yeah. I think,
and you see that in the Friday the 13th films, big time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Because Jason Takes Manhattan, I don't remember really any blood in that movie.
Yeah, there's little to no blood. I mean, we know how John Carl Buechler and the New Blood, how heavily censored some of that shit was.
That movie could have been fucking amazing had they let him just do what he needed to do with that film. And I know that there's like work prints out there somewhere that have his footage still. I think they might have even included them in the...
They are in the extras. They're just super rough.
Yeah, because they probably only exist on tape. So
yeah.
Crazy, man. But yeah, so this movie was definitely a turning point for horror as well,
especially in Italian horror.
So I think that's about it, man. Had fun. What do you rate Demons, man?
Oh, Demons is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. It's a fucking amazing movie. I could throw it on at any time and have a good time watching. It's a movie that you want to show.
Great pace. Yeah, and you want to show friends.
You're like, yo, you guys want to see a crazy horror movie who don't normally watch horror movies?
Yeah.
Fucking throw on Demons and just let them enjoy the ride. That's it. It's just taking people on for a ride.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. I'm going to rate it also an 8.5 out of 10, dude. I love this movie. I love the effects on it. I love the music. I like what it represents. I like the punk rock that it represents, man,
It's a youth movement film, man.
There you go. Yeah.
It's
youth movement. I appreciate that youth movement. Thank you.
Yes.
For digging me out of that.
I got you, brother. It is for the youth. And that's what like the youth was craving, They wanted counterculture. They wanted crazy shit. And
Preach, brother. There you go.
Yeah,
It's everything that I wanted to say. I just couldn't
Exactly.
fucking think of it.
Yeah,
We've
and
been sitting for
was
a while.
a total success, and it spawned a great sequel and just took Italian horror. It took it to new levels, new heights.
On that note, I think it's time for you to bring us out, man. I think we could just kind of like cash this ticket in, man. Success.
Yeah, cashing our tickets in. It's a great one. So the best way you could support Dead with My Friends podcast is checking out our website at www.deadwithmyfriendspodcast.com, where we have our latest merch drops, latest episodes, previous episodes, updates. You can follow us on Instagram at Dead with My Friends Podcast. We are on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We're everywhere. We want to thank everyone who participated in our giveaway for our Graveyard Ghoul shirt. We hope everyone enjoys the new intro, which we want to thank the homie Mikey G for riffing it for us. And we look forward to what the rest of this year brings for the show.
Same. Couldn't have said it better, brother. So with all that being said, I'm Nick.
And I'm Steve, and we'll see you in the next dimension.
Peace.